So there are two types of weeds out there. One is perennial and the other is annual. Annuals die out completely each year and they come back in the next year from seeds. And the best way to control annual weeds is to prevent them in the first place by using a good pre-emergent and then spot treating any of the weeds that the pre-emergent didn't control. Perennials die down to the ground each year and then come back from the roots. Because they aren't coming back from seeds, pre-emergents won't prevent them. We have to control those when they're actively growing. There are two main types of grassy weeds that we'll see. One is Poa annua, and this one we'll see in the winter, usually starting in late January to early February, and can last all the way into May. It's a small grassy weed with tiny seed heads on it. The best control is to prevent it with pre-emergents. We'll sometimes see this in lawns after we've applied a pre-emergent, and that frequently means there's some sort of a watering issue. Either the pre-emergent wasn't watered in, or there's a coverage issue in that area. Once it's in the lawn, it can be difficult to control once it comes up, and it seems like it's going to last forever, but actually it will burn off once we have hot weather, usually in late April or May. Another kind of winter grassy weed we'll see is rescue grass. This is a tall, thick-bladed grassy weed that's dark green. We can start seeing this as early as November and December, but it's usually heaviest in January and February, and eventually burns off in April or May. Like a lot of winter grassy weeds, this one is easiest to control by preventing it in the first place with a good pre-emergent, but we can control it with spot treatments. There are a couple of different types of broadleaf weeds that we'll see in the wintertime. One of the broadleaf weeds we'll see is henbit. This is a tall weed with heart-shaped leaves and a pretty purple bloom on it. This is beautiful in the field, but not so much in our lawns. We'll see this one start coming out in January or February, and this one will stay until usually April or a little bit later. It is preventable with a good pre-emergent. When it is actively growing, though, if we've missed out on the pre-emergent, it is also fairly easy to control with the broadleaf weed control. If we're seeing it late, though, in its growing season, say in April, it's big and green, but it's not actively growing at that point, and it doesn't take in the weed control products. So at that point, the best control for that is simply to mow it down, and it shouldn't come back. Another winter broadleaf weed that we'll see is dandelions, and this one most people are familiar with because it has a very recognizable yellow flower. This one can't be controlled with pre-emergent because pre-emergents control seeds, and this one's a perennial. It grows from its roots. We can, though, usually control this one with one or two spot treatments. This is Ken with Village Green. If you like these videos, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and send them on to your friends and family. Village Green, local experience you can trust.